What if I told you that you could have a professional, beautiful, one-page artist website live on the internet in just one day? An actual site with your work, your story, and most importantly, a way for you to grow your email list. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing from start to finish in this video. If you don't consider yourself tech savvy, don't worry about it. I'm going to break down everything step by step. Hi, I'm Marlis. I'm an artist, the founder of ArtsyByM, and a former system test engineer for Wi-Fi and connectivity on airplanes. And now I also design websites for artists. I built my own Squarespace website in 2022 and I DIY'd the whole thing. It was actually a lot of fun, but I think that was also the engineer part of me that really enjoyed that process. But I get that a lot of artists might consider themselves a bit anxious when it comes to tech and starting a website and things like that. And so I know exactly where you might get stuck, and I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen to you. A quick note before we go into the screen sharing and we really dive into all of the fun details. This is not a 10-page intensive website, okay? We're gonna be building a one-page site very intentionally. And here's why. A one-page site is actually much faster to build, and honestly, it's more effective for artists that are just starting out versus a multi-page site that you might just get overwhelmed and probably never finished, and you're going to procrastinate and just overthink every single thing. I think that having a one-page site serves its purpose, and it is a powerful place for people to land where they can give you their email address, and when you have a new collection, you actually have people that you can directly reach out to without the mercy of the social media algorithm. I'm also going to provide you with a couple checklists. This is going to make it so much easier for you to know specifically what you're going to need to go grab before you actually start building. Think of this almost as like your mise en place, if you will, which means everything in place. And it's kind of like a chef term where you chop up all your little ingredients, you put them in little bowls, and they're ready to go. That way, when the stove is on and the pan is hot, everything is ready to be thrown in to get cooked. And so our mise en place is going to be our checklist. So I'm going to spend some time there. And then once we have that, when we're ready to chef it up and cook in Squarespace, we're going to have everything that we need, and it's really just going to make the building process so much quicker. I'm also going to provide you with a go live checklist. This is a second checklist that we're going to run through once we're done building our website. And this is basically to make sure that we've hit all the marks. There aren't any links that are not working. There's images that are all opening up properly. We even test out if our email newsletter opt-in is working. We're going to do all of these things to make sure that right before you hit that publish button, you feel good and you feel confident about yourself. So there's these two checklists that we're going to go through. All right, so just so you know what to expect in this video, first, we're going to run through a rough layout of our website. Then we're going to go through our checklist. We're going to make sure that we grab all of our assets and things that we're going to need. And then once we're done with that, we're going to go right into Squarespace. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to build the website. Once we're done with building our site in Squarespace, we're going to go through our second checklist, which is our go live checklist. Let's get into it. I'm going to jump right into my iPad so I can show you the layout. It's like a rough sketch of a layout of our website. And this makes it really easy to visualize what to expect. So here we have our header, and that's basically going to be the top. Then the hero section, which is pretty much the first main section that's above the fold that you're going to see. Then we have the gallery, about, and newsletter. These are probably the most important sections, and it's all going to be captured in one page. And I think that is going to turn out beautifully. What we're going to be building in the header section is the name, and then we're going to have our socials linked here, and then a button right here. For the hero section, we're going to have an image right here. And then we're going to put hero copy. Copy is pretty much just text. That's what I mean by copy. And then right there is going to be another button. And then moving into our gallery section, we're going to go with, say, 6 paintings. You can go with less or more, but we're pretty much going to go with 6. That's going to be our layout. Obviously, you know, with design, all things within your discretion. And then our about section, we're going to add another image of ourselves right there. And then the about copy will go here. And then finally, in our newsletter section at the end, we're going to have the opt-in copy. And of course, another button there for them to give us their email and subscribe. So this is pretty much the simple layout that we are going to be building. Okay, so now that you have an idea of what the layout is going to look like for our one-page site, let's jump into our one-page artist website on Squarespace checklist. So I have this page created on Notion. I'm going to drop the link in the description below. It's totally free. And once you open the link, you'll be able to click on the button right here to duplicate. If you are not on Notion, you can just simply go right here and copy paste this into a Word document if you prefer. So checklist 1 is going to be content and copy prep. It's what you're going to have to gather before you build. Right below it is checklist 2, which, like I mentioned before, is the go live checklist, which is what we're going to run through before hitting publish. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time in checklist 1 because this is super important. Grabbing all of these little ingredients is just going to make the building so much easier. Brand colors. So you're going to need 3 to 5 brand colors with hex codes. And you're like, what is a hex code, Marlis? I have no idea what you're talking about. You're literally talking in code. Let me tell you what I mean by hex code. If you go right here to the link right here on Figma's website, it will show you a bunch of palettes, like color palettes. So look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? You can filter by style. So say if I want a neutral style or monochromatic or retro or bright, you pretty much have all of the palettes to pick from. What I mean by a hex code is that each color has a code associated with it. So if you see right here, there's this color has this code. Now, once you figure out what color palette you would like, I'd suggest to pick anywhere between 3 to 5 colors. Now, don't get too overwhelmed by this process. I know that there's a lot of brand guides. I'm not gonna get into a whole thing about branding with color palettes and logos and things like that. At this stage, trust me, simple is better. Okay, you don't have to overthink this either. Because if anything, you can always change it in the future. So even if I just go with something neutral, I can pick some colors from here. And then you can really just click right here. It'll copy the hex code and you can paste it into your Notion checklist. Okay. If for whatever reason you don't have color palettes, or maybe you already have them, so that's great. But if you don't already have your brand color palette, don't worry about it. We can even pick from some options right when we're in Squarespace as well. So don't stress, don't fret. This is not about perfectionism, guys. It's literally just making progress and moving and not overthinking every single bit. Because trust me, these details, while they do create our end product, yes, I think that if you spend too much time overthinking it and trying to perfect the crap out of it, you are just gonna not publish this site. Okay, we're at the first item in our checklist, and I want you to think about this. We're not trying to create some perfect website here. We're trying to create something that's functional, that's useful, that's going to be great for you to actually build your email list. And all of these things are changeable in the future, so don't even trip over yourself. Okay, just giving you some tough love over there. Okay, so like we saw in our layout sketch earlier, you saw the hero section, which is just the first section that is above the fold. So it's kind of like if you were on a desktop, that's what you would see in your desktop screen above the fold. And even on your mobile phone, it's pretty much what you would see on the full screen. The hero section is really important because this is essentially what tells anybody that's arriving on your site what your site is about and what you offer. This part is important. We're going to need a hero painting image. This could be an image of a very visually interesting piece that you have, or it could also be an image of you with this visually striking piece of art. And again, don't really overthink this too much. Just maybe pick an image of your favorite painting and make sure that the image quality is good. And we can move on from here. The hero section copy, like I mentioned, copy is literally just text, and we're going to need a headline. This is what you make and why it's different, and the identity statement, which is style of art in your location, the button label, something like join my list. Next is the gallery section. So here we're going to have 6 high-res images of your best work. If you have a collection of work that is something that all looks similar to one style, maybe gather those 6 images. If you have a few images of artwork that you're going to be launching soon, place those images here. If you don't have any of that and you have maybe been working on different styles of art over the last few years and you're just now starting to refine your craft, pick 6 of your best paintings and put those images here. Again, don't overthink this. This is just an opportunity for you to showcase what you create and what your art is about. You can really refine this in the future, but at this stage, follow those instructions. So when I say 6 high-res images, I also don't mean images that are 2 gigs of storage. We want your images to be of around 1 megabyte in size. And in order for you to compress your images, you can use tinypng.com. Also, the reason we want to make sure our image size is not too large is because when your website loads, the speed at which it actually opens and the images open and the website loads is going to make a better user experience. And in addition to that is also just like page loading speed is better for SEO. So if your pages are taking forever to load and people are just jumping off your page, it also screws up your SEO. Don't worry too much about SEO at this particular moment, but it's just something to keep in mind. Then we want titles for all 6 gallery pieces. Moving on to the About section. The About section copy consists of the headline, which could be something like Meet the Artist, and an artist statement, which is 2 to 3 sentences, not your whole goddamn CV. If you need help with this, you could always go into your favorite AI of choice, tell it about yourself, and have it write you an artist statement that's 2 to 3 sentences. But just make sure it doesn't sound too much like a computer and more like human. So actually with your voice and your story. Then we want an artist photo or headshot. Next and final section is the email opt-in section. This is the most important section in our website because essentially at the end of the day, we're building this because we want to grow our email list. And this is why I think this is super important, because if you're getting serious about actually growing your art business, you're going to need to start an email newsletter, whether you like it or not. Okay, so in here we got our headline, which could be something like get early access to new collections, and then the button label, which could be something like join now. A few other things that you're going to need is a logo PNG or just your name and text. Again, this is another thing. Don't overthink this to the point where you literally are paralyzing yourself for a month because you are unable to pick a font for your logo or pick a style for your logo. Trust me, it's really not that important. If you just create a logo in Canva with your first name and last name, or even just your first name, and slap a font on it, literally, it's not that deep. People don't really care that much about your logo because, to be honest, they're barely going to see it. They're going to see your art. They're going to see your story. They're going to see all of these other elements versus your logo. Don't stress about it. You can always even change it in a few years if you'd like. Cool? Cool. Just promise me you won't get stuck on these steps because they're not life-changing. Just trust me. The actual art and you selling your art, that's what's going to make all of the difference. Next, we want your Instagram handle and other social links. So these are some of my links right here. We want the full website URL. The next important thing is the domain. So if you're wondering, Marlis, what is a domain? I don't know anything about tech. Tell me, what is a domain? This is pretty much where someone can find you online. It's the thing that you type into your search bar, like the www.blank.com. That is going to be your domain. It's where your website name is hosted. You can either purchase a domain for your website from Squarespace, or you can purchase them from other third-party domain sites, or maybe you already have a domain that you've purchased, so you're all set. Now, if you want to actually check, I would suggest for a domain, you could potentially just use like your first name, last name. So maybe we go with a janedoe.com. We want to check if that is taken or not. We just go do our little domain checker. It looks like it's unavailable, so we're gonna load some more. So you can see there's like jane-c.com, janeg.com. Maybe we do janedoeart.com, and let's see if that one is available. janedoeart.com is also unavailable, but janedoeart.net is available. And so you can pretty much purchase your domain right here. Then once we're done building our site, I'm going to show you how to actually connect your domain, or here's instructions on how to connect to a third-party domain if you have one that's not on Squarespace, so don't worry about that. Next, we're going to need an SEO site description, which is under 200 characters. This is also something that you can have AI help you write. So it's kind of like abstract fluid art and alcohol ink paintings on wood by Dubai-based artist, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of an example of what it would look like. And then, of course, your Squarespace free trial account, which I'm going to show how you can make that. And finally, for your email opt-in, we have MailerLite or Mailchimp account. MailerLite or Mailchimp are two email marketing softwares that will pretty much help you to create your email campaigns and things like that. We'll talk about this in more detail in a little bit, but for now, you can also just ignore it if you just want to use Google Drive, and I'll show you all of that when we jump into Squarespace. So you'll be able to make that decision whether you want to create your accounts or if you just want to use Google Drive for now. Here's an example of what a filled out checklist might look like. So you have brand colors. These are the brand colors that I'm going to be using with the hex codes, the hero section, the headline, the identity statement, and the button labels. So my headline is going to be original alcohol ink paintings, each one unrepeatable. And the identity statement is abstract fluid artist based in Dubai. For my hero painting image, I have saved it right here. This image is just me with a striking painting behind me. Also, PS, this is my merch, this sweatshirt and the shorts. So it's just art on art on art. It's great. Anyways, you could pick an image that is just with a painting, not with you in it. I just preferred this one. And what I want to show you is specifically how we're going to name our files. And this is super important because it's also another thing that just helps with your website SEO. I'm gonna have to be honest with you, I need to rename a lot of my images because like when I first started in 2022, there were a lot of painting images on my website that I did not follow this rule for. So learn from my mistakes, and since you're setting up your site, go ahead and name them like this. You want them to be all lowercase with hyphens, and if you're putting your name, what kind of art, abstract artist, and then this is the name of the painting, the reawakening, and the location, that should be really good. The headshot image right here, I have this image right here, has my name, abstract artist, headshot Dubai, all lowercase with hyphens in between them. You don't want underscores or anything like that. Then here is my logo. I made this in 2022. Do I still love it? I don't know. I think it's all right. I literally just picked a font in Canva and I put my business name, which is ArtsyByM. It's not my name, but it's ArtsyByM, and the M is me. It's Marlis. So yeah, and then I picked my brand colors and I slapped them on there, and it's a circle, and we're good to go. So you could literally just create something this simple with a font that you can just pick in Canva with your first and last name and call it a day. So don't overthink it. That's my logo. And then finally, the other folder that we're going to need is of our paintings. So here are the 6 paintings, and I named each and every one of them with the painting name first. So Face Your Fears Mirror, because this is a mirror painting. And then the medium, which is alcohol ink, resin, abstract fluid art, the style of art, and then the location. So another example is this one. It's called Failures Protector. I named it Failures Protector. Alcohol ink, resin, upcycled resin painting, abstract fluid art to buy. You get the point, right? So each of these are the paintings that I picked, and these are images that I actually created, these like mock images that showcase the painting in these spaces. I didn't actually do a full photo shoot with these paintings in these actual places. I took pictures of the painting in my home studio with lights and on my iPhone 13, by the way. All of these photos of the paintings are taken on my iPhone 13. So it's not like you need all that much. If you actually want to know how I photograph these paintings, I could even create a separate video. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. And these images too, I did create in Canva. So these like mock-up images. And I know that now with the advancement of AI, there's probably some better tools that you could even make these mock-up. I think they're called in situ, like INSITU in situ images. These are our demo assets. I say demo assets because we're creating a demo website right now, but it's going to look like a very real website. Okay, moving back to our checklist. I don't know if you hear the birds chirping in the background, but we have a lot of pigeons out here where I'm located in Dubai, and I just hear them. It's quite cute. Anyways, so we're back at our checklist here. We're going through making sure we have everything. So you've already seen we have the hero painting image and then the high res images of the gallery section. And then I copied the like names with the dimensions and the medium right here. So it's ready to go. Like when we're in Squarespace, we can just copy paste and copy paste. So that's where it becomes really handy. About section, our headline's going to be meet the artist, and then we already have our artist statement. It says, hi, I'm Marlis D'Souza, an engineer who quit to make art full time. And I'd do it again. I work primarily in alcohol ink and resin on wood, creating abstract fluid pieces that start as journal entries and end as paintings. Based in Dubai, I create, teach, and ship work worldwide through ArtsyByM. You can create something like this, like I said, an artist statement. Don't get too carried away. It's not going to be a whole essay, just 2 to 3 sentences. And then you already saw the artist photo or headshot earlier. And then for email opt-in, we're just going to stick with these options that I've already given you right here. Logo PNG, you saw we already have that. Instagram handle and other links. Domain chosen. So in my case, because we are just going to be doing a demo site, not actually going to purchase a fake domain, but I'm going to show you where you can pick one and where you would go to actually integrate your domain into your site and make it go live. SEO, site description, also we have that here as well. Squarespace free trial account created. We're going to jump right in and do that next. And then MailerLite or Mailchimp account created. This also you can decide which one you want to go for or neither if you just want to go with Google Drive for now. And all of this is going to make sense right when we're in Squarespace later on. So I'm just going to check this for now, but looks like our checklist is all set and we're ready to go. Now let's jump into building our website. This is the part you've been waiting for. We're just going to go to squarespace.com and we're just going to jump in and click get started. So it's going to ask you a bunch of questions. You can just answer right here, or you can just jump right here and hit I'm just browsing. So we're going to skip and it's going to take us to some template. Now, the thing with templates is they can all look really cool and catchy and really fancy, and you may even have gotten stuck at this step. And I know as an artist and a creative person, you're like, well, these things look so cool. Which one do I pick? Oh my gosh, I can't figure it out. Here's the thing though, you can literally pick any of them, but then every element is customizable. The rule of thumb here is don't stress too much about the template because we're going to be able to customize everything later on anyways. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So in order for us to just kind of like make this really easy and simple, I'm going to pick a template called Montclaire. Miss Montclaire is a very simple template. And this is great because we're just going to use this to start off with, but we're probably going to just like delete and move things around. And remember I said earlier, if you don't have your colors sorted, you can pick from options in Squarespace. So like right here, you see there's like color templates and then there's font packs as well. We're just going to go ahead, leave it all as it is. We're going to say start with this design. Now at this stage, you're going to sign in and create an account. I usually just continue with Google. So I'm just going to log into that. You can create an account with Google or whatever you'd like. Squarespace does offer a 2-week free trial. So up until this point, you're not going to spend any money. It's just that when you actually want to go and publish it and go live, you will have to pick a paid plan. And they have a monthly paid plan option. It starts at about $20 a month. and then it goes up. But for right now, when we're building at this stage, we're gonna be able to use a free account, and it's taking some time. Also, my Wi-Fi is kind of slow, so bear with me. But now that we had selected our template, you'll see we're starting to find our home into Squarespace, which is where we're going to build our site. You see right here on the bottom, it says your trial ends in 14 days. Upgrade now to get the most of your site. This is where you can subscribe and pay to upgrade later on. These are the annual rates: basic, core, and advanced. So I'm just going to walk you through quite simply what these mean and what you're going to need at this particular stage. So right now, you're just going to need the basic plan. It shows you that it's $12 a month because it's the annual rate. So if you hit select, it'll show you what the monthly rate is, which I think is around $20 a month. So if you want to choose to pay monthly, it looks like it's $19 a month. Eventually, once you're done with your site and you want to upgrade to publish, which you are going to have to upgrade to a paid plan in order to publish your account, you're going to need to subscribe. For the one-page site that I'm demonstrating today, all you're going to need is the basic plan. And eventually, when you do want to add a shop and have the e-commerce facilities and all of that stuff, you're going to need the core plan. This is the current plan that I have on my artist website. It's the core plan and it has worked really well. There's some other things here in advance that I personally don't really use, and I've been on the core plan now since 2022. So yeah. I do usually just do the annual option. If you are able to do the annual option, it's honestly so much better because it's one less thing that you have to pay monthly and you do save a good amount of money as well. Okay, so back to our dashboard right here. This stuff on the left panel is where you're going to live. So you have home, website. This is where you are going to be able to design website. If you click on pages, it'll bring you here to the main navigation. There's a lot of other options right here with content and membership, scheduling, donations, invoicing, campaigns. Like, you don't have to worry about any of this right now, okay? We're going to mainly just be in website, pages, assets in this section right here. And then when we're gonna add our domain and things like that, we're gonna go into our settings, which is right down here. So now that we already have our template, we're going to hit on pages, and I'm going to delete this page right here, which says all prints. This is pretty much the e-commerce shop. So eventually, when you do start selling your paintings and things like that here, or prints or whatever that might be, this is where you will come to build your shop. We're not covering that in this video because I don't want you to get overwhelmed with the shop element, because right now the purpose of this one-page site is just to gather emails. That way you can go and paint your paintings and grow your email list. And then when you're actually ready, we can add this section back in later. But like I said, on the basic plan of Squarespace, you will not have the e-commerce, which is the shop capability. So we're just gonna hit on the gear icon right here, and we're gonna delete page. That pretty much deleted our store. So you're not going to have a store on your site just yet. We can always add that later on. Okay, so we have the about page right here that's in the main navigation. As you can see right here is the header of your website. If you keep a page in the main navigation right up here, it will show up in the header of your site. If you drag it to not linked, so right when I drag the page and drop it under not linked, you'll see the page will not show up here. And there you see the about page is gone. So that's actually how you can add pages into your main navigation into your header. That's a nice little quick tip. And remember, I said that we're going to just do a one-page site. So we're going to go ahead and actually delete our about page as well, because we do not need it. We don't need it now that we have our one-page site right here. The first thing I want to show you is how to make it uniquely yours with the visual, with the font type and all of that. So right here on the right hand side, you see this little paintbrush. That's where you're going to click on to get your site styles. So now that you see we have themes, we have fonts, colors, buttons, and forms. This is pretty much where you're going to set up all of these elements, and it's going to be the same across your entire website. And this is what I really love about designing in Squarespace, is that once you set this up, you don't really have to go in and change every individual element because your template design is already set in this screen. So let's start off with the colors, since that's the first thing that was on our checklist. Here are some color themes that you can pick. If you didn't pick one earlier, you can pick one here if you'd like. I mean, these are all pretty good. The main key thing here is that you want to have some light colors and then move on to some darker colors on the other end of the spectrum so there is some contrast. Now we're going to hit on customize, and here's where we're going to edit our palette. We picked colors earlier and we got our hex codes in our checklist right here. All I'm going to do is copy this and paste it right here. So you see how I did that? Now this is the white color, and there's the first color in our palette. Now we click on the second one. We're going to copy this, which is beige, is what I picked. And we're going to paste our code. Now that's how we're going to just build our palette. As simple as that. At the start of this video, you were probably like, what is a hex code, Marlis? I don't know. I mean, maybe you already knew that, but if you didn't, now you know. Isn't this just exciting? We have our color palette, and then you just hit back and it automatically saves it. So look, our color palette is ready to go. Now, what it does automatically, which this is literally the coolest thing, is it sets up section color themes according to the palette that you just gave it. So look, there's these themes right here, which I will show you when we're building our sections, and you can just like click on any of these and it just changes the elements automatically. Now for our fonts, we can pick some right here. There are font packs. If you want a sans serif style, there's some options right here for you to pick from. If you want a serif style, there's some here for you to pick from. If you want a mixed, there's some here. I'm gonna go with this one, and that's it. We have our font. You know, it's like, it's quite simple. Again, at this stage, like, don't get too overly caught up and overthink a font at this point. Pick something that you find vibes with your art style and you, and keep going. Now that we're done picking our font, we're done picking our colors, next is going to be buttons. So there are some button styles that we can choose from. Right here, I clicked on this little arrow, but this kind of shows you there's like primary, secondary, and tertiary. You can even choose like what shape you want. You can customize it here. I honestly like this. I like the sharp edges. If you want to change it, you can literally just go in here and change the elements. Now, here's the thing though. When you pick these buttons, that just means that every button that you add on your website will have to be either one of these three formats. And if you ever change the primary style in here, it'll change all of the primary button styles in all of your pages through your website. I'm just letting you know this for future reference because right now we are creating just a one-page site. And then finally with forms, this is another place where you can edit your style for forms. But as of right now, we're not really adding any forms in our one-page site, so we don't really need to worry about that. Here we have our site style all set up and ready to go. So here we're going to hit exit. So we get out of our editing screen, and then we're going to click on website on the top left here, because the next step right before we head into designing our sections is we're going to upload our content and our assets. So you're going to go right here under website assets. This is going to make sure we just do one clean upload altogether. And I would just recommend to keep this place a little bit organized before you start, you know, designing anything. Make sure that all of your assets are cleanly uploaded here because it just makes the whole game so much easier. Okay, so now that we have our assets all uploaded, we are all prepared, ready to go. Let us go back to website right here and hit edit. We're just going to be deleting a bunch of sections and things like that. We're going to start off with the first section right on top, which is the site header. So we're going to edit site header. And what it's going to do is it's going to make this stuff editable. So here, you can't really drag and drop. I clicked outside right here, and then I hovered right here. So you see how it shows you this blue box around the header? You have to hit edit design. And here are where they have some built-in layouts for you to choose from. So from our design that we drew up earlier, this is the one that I'm going for, where you have the logo on the left, these icons that are going to be right here, and a button on the right. So if you would like to change it up, if you want your logo or your name right here, you can kind of choose this one. So the only thing is that there is a limitation that you can't really change it up much else from what you see out here, but they have these layout templates. That way it just makes it simple enough for you to pick from one of these and you can move on. I would like for drop shadow, which is kind of like a little drop shadow right here. I'm gonna go reduce my distance to maybe like 6, and I want to change the color maybe to this purple color. I'm just showing you how to kind of change these elements. Then if I want to change the color of the actual header section, you go to color, and instead of adaptive, I'm thinking maybe I want a gradient. If I wanted a gradient, I can pick the background color to be maybe this beige, and then the navigation color to be maybe, I think this purple. Or if I wanted it to be a solid color, I could click on solid and then do the same thing, change the color right there. And I think I'm actually gonna go with the navigation color in this teal green. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And you can even change the opacity right here. So look. Now there we have it. So then we can just click out of here. And now we're still in that header section. You see on the left, there's add elements. And here's where you can toggle on and off the elements that you can have in your header section. As you see here, the button one is toggled on. If I toggle it off, it disappears. And that's really how it works. So as per our design layout earlier, we want to have some social links. So there we go. We have our social links. We don't want a cart right now because we are not creating our e-commerce shop just yet. So now I'm going to click on the social links section because it looks like there's 3 that are automatically added over here, but we want to edit that. With our links that we had copied earlier, when we go back to our checklist, we have our social media links that are down here. So I'm going to copy over my Instagram link and I'm going to paste this right here. And then when you click on back, it saves it. I don't really want Twitter and I don't want Facebook. I just chose to add Instagram and TikTok. So I can go to edit here and then I can remove this Twitter icon and remove Facebook as well. And then I want to add a social link. I'm going to grab the TikTok URL. And you saw I added that and I hit enter and it automatically notices that I have a TikTok link. And there we go. If I want to move one over the other, I can do that right here. And then I'm going to hit done. Now we're going to change the site title to our name. I'm just going to go with first name, last name. This is super nice and easy. You can add your logo in here if you'd like, but I'm just going to go with my name on this one. I would like to edit this button right here. So we don't want it to be this harsh black box right here. I think the easiest way for me to edit the design would be to go edit design, color, theme. And here you can see from these themes, we can change the colors. I think I'm going to go with light 2. I really like that. Except maybe I think I would like all of these to be in that soft green. I don't really want this to be this harsh kind of dark color. So what I would do is click on this pencil icon right here. And so I can edit this specific color theme. And here, if you see under header, you have site title is this green and then navigation links is this color right here. So I can just select from my palette, boom, nice and done. I just go back and close. All right, so for our hero section, I am going to add section and try to find one maybe in here in the templates that mimic the design that we had created. Maybe an about. Basically, it was like an image on the right and then some text on the left. I can just start with this. But, you know, we don't have to. Like, we could literally just add all of these elements into here. And if you wanted to do that, you could just hit add block. You could add an image, you can add text, and then you can just edit accordingly. And then, oh, here's a button. So we can just add those manually if we want. But I think this closely mimics what I want. So as you notice, I just like clicked and dragged and dropped a bunch of things. There's other website editors that are not this friendly. So with Squarespace, it is a bit of this drag and drop nature that makes things so easy. And then here, as you see, this like big blue box around this section is pretty much the little section that we're working with. I can hold down this button and then just like drag it up to however high I want it. Now remember, our hero section is basically just above the fold, so I want to make sure it just fits this screen area. So I'm going to move it up. I think that looks pretty good. I actually think I want to make our header a bit smaller so I can just drag and drop. I mean, so simple. Okay, I want to move this a bit closer in, and then I'm just going to click on this image and edit. I'm going to replace this image with the image we uploaded earlier. So it says select from library, and I'm going to upload my hero image. Then I can edit as well. So I can just kind of make it bigger, make it smaller. You kind of move this around a little. I'm going to change this text to heading 1. So I actually would like it for it to be a bit bigger. I'm going to go back to our notes into the hero section and copy our headline. I'm going to right click and hit paste and match style because I don't want it to edit or change style. I'm going to move this back up. We're just, building, making it look cute. And then here I want to copy the identity statement, which we're just going to drop in here. And I'm going to change this to heading 4. And then the last part is join my list. I'm going to hit edit, join my list. And then we're going to link this later, which is basically going to take us to the bottom of the page where our email newsletter section is going to be. So I'm going to show you how to do that later once we have that section built. Okay, for now, we're looking good with the layout. I think the color needs to be changed. And so this is again where we're going to go to our color themes. I'm going to go to edit section, colors. And I'm going to go with light 2 because I want it to kind of blend into the top a little bit. So, okay, I'm really liking this. However, now I want to make sure that we add a bit more punch to this area. So I'm going to select this, change it to the darker color, and then I'm happy to leave these as they are. Now that we have our hero section done, that looks pretty good. A way that you can kind of just like view what it would look like on an actual device is up top here, there's this like preview button. So this is what it would look like. Pretty clean, pretty nice, right? And these are the social icons, which we have linked to earlier. We are going to, oh, I just need to change this back from contact. This is actually going to be gallery. Let me just edit that real quick. All right, so here you have it. Our sections are ready to go. 2 down, we have 3 more to go. All right, so the next section is going to be our gallery. I'm going to remove this. And here we have some images. Looks like these are product blocks, which we don't want. While this section is selected, I'm going to hit remove. And this is also a contact section. We don't want that either. Remove that. So now I'm going to hit add section. And I think I might even have another one selected from in here that could be useful. So for our gallery, we have the 6 images. So let's go into images and see if we have something that closely mimics it. Okay, I think this one might be good. So there's 4. We can just add a couple more. Now here, we're going to go to edit gallery. We're going to select all of these images, delete them, and we're going to add our own. So we're going to go to search images, painting, and we're going to select all of them and add. Nice. And then what we're going to do is in the description box, we can add the name of the painting with all of the details. You just select the painting and then put the description. So this is like really a lot of information, and I asked you to gather all of this data earlier just so that we can have it. It's nice to have, but we don't need to have everything in here. If anything, you could just have the painting name and just not have any of the other details in there. But I just want to show you what this is going to look like. So I added the description for 3. I'm going to hit close. And now this is a bit different than the layout that we had planned in our template earlier. We want to do 3 in each row. So I'm going to say edit section. And here we're going to do under columns, we're going to select 3. So it looks like we got that. Looks nice. And then for captions, we're going to toggle that on. You see? So now here we have all the details of the painting that's right there. Pretty nice. Now, if this is a bit too cluttered for you personally, and if you don't want that much information, you can just remove it and just put the painting name. I think I might actually just do that. I think I might just do the painting name. And so I'm just gonna delete that. But I wanted to show you that if you did want to add all of the details here, you can. In the future, though, when you do upgrade and get your shop sorted, then you're going to need this information for your shop anyways. You're going to need all of the product details. It's always good to gather all the information so you're ready to go anyways. Cool. Because here too, we're just kind of going for like a gallery-esque vibe, and we're not really going for a shop vibe here. Now that I have all of my image and painting names sorted, look, it's very clean and it looked quite nice. I would like for the space in between them to be a little bit less. So I want the images to look a little bit bigger. And then finally, the colors. I would like for this section to be a different shade from the previous one. And this is how you also, in design, you change the colors of the section. That way it's also much easier to digest when you're scrolling through. So I think I'm going to go with something darker. And I kind of like that. I like this dark background. Cool. 3 sections down. Our gallery is done. Now let's go to the next section. Now we're going to add another section here. This one's the About section, where we have an image on the left and some text on the right. So let's just go to the About section here and see maybe if there is something already that kind of looks like what we designed earlier. It's like an image on the right. I'm sorry. So I guess something like this would work. Or even this, Meet the Founder. Yeah, this could work. Let's just go with that. And then we'll just edit as we go. So let's edit the image here. Replace from the library with our image of ourselves. Nice. Look at her. And then for this text, I'm gonna move it a bit closer as well. Just kind of like how we did in the other one. For the copy, right here, we have Meet the Artist, and then we have all of this text. So let's say Meet the Artist. Then below it is our artist statement. So the same with here, I want to change this to heading 1, and then this to heading 4. And I know I had it italicized in my Notion, but I want to make it unitalicized. I'm going to move this up just so we are visually looking nice. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up a little bit. I don't really want this to be a black background. I would like for it to be a brighter background. So again, I'm going to go to edit section, colors. I'm going to go back to light 2, and then I'm going to let this one stay green, and I'm going to change this to our dark purple, just to kind of give it a little bit of contrast. And then this button, I want it to be our primary button. Actually, no, we don't have a button here, so we're going to delete this. There we go. Meet the Artist section. Done. You see, like when you have the image and all of the copy and everything ready, it's like so simple and so easy to just go boom, boom, Boom. We are at our last and final section, and that is going to be our opt-in. Now, here it looks like this is the newsletter section right here. I'm gonna delete whatever this is. It says made with Squarespace. Cool, thanks, bro. This box right here as well. We don't need that because we changed it up. I would like for this section to be slightly larger. So here is our newsletter block, which is how we're going to start to collect email addresses. If this was not here, you can in fact click on add block and go to newsletter right here, and then this is how it would add a newsletter block for you. So if you wanted to even add a newsletter block on a different part of your website, like that's how you would do it. I want to edit this up because there's a lot more things that I want to do right here. So I'm going to change the form name to collector list. And then here we want the title to be the copy that we have here. So that's copy, paste. And then button label is just going to be join now. So we're just going to remove this description from here. And the button text is going to be join now. We want to have the name field, and some people might not want this, but I'm going to say require first name. I think it's always good to have names because if you want to send an email and you want it to be a bit personalized, you want the first name. But the way it's built here in Squarespace, for some reason, you can't just do first name and no last name. So anyways, you'll get their full name. And then post submit. Pretty much, if you want to change the message, you can say thank you, or you can even redirect them to a different link once they sign up. We're just going to keep it simple for now. And next, we're going to go to design. Here, I want to actually sort this out a little bit. So I'm just going to pull this way. I want it to be all in one row. Like, I don't like it weirdly stacked like that. I think this is much better. Alignment, we want it centered. And then I would actually like to edit this section color to maybe a bright. Ooh, I like that. That looks really nice. I want to pull the base up so we don't have any empty space. And now finally, for the actual technical part of the email list is when we click on it, we have the storage option. So this is basically when somebody drops in their name and email, where does it go? What happens with it? Firstly, here we have a confirmation email. So right now it says confirmation email off. I usually set it to off. You can send a confirmation email if you would like. And then definitely enable Google CAPTCHA. Now we go to other storage options. So this is basically what is already built in to Squarespace. There's 3 options. That's Google Drive, Zapier, which is an automation tool, and Mailchimp, which is an email marketing tool. Now, they're all different tools. For now, I think the easiest thing that I would suggest that doesn't cost you anything additional is to go with Google Drive. And why I say this is because if you choose Google Drive option, you're pretty much going to end up with a Google spreadsheet that has the first name, last name, email address. And then once you're actually ready to move to the next step and then start automating emails and start sending out campaigns and doing all of that, you can even set up Mailchimp or any other email campaign provider like MailerLite. They're all different softwares out there. But at this stage, if you're literally just trying to set up one page, grab email addresses, and go back to painting, I would suggest just go with the Google Drive option. Because say you choose to go with Mailchimp in the future, any of these email marketing services, they're pretty easy to grab your data and import them into these softwares. So you don't have to worry about it. The only thing is, if you choose a Google Drive option right now, nothing automated happens. On Google Drive, I'm going to hit connect and I'm going to have to log into my email. I'm just going to put collector email list, hit back, and that's how it saves. And now I'm just going to go to my drive and check. So like it automatically created this list. How cool is that, right? So now I'm going to open it and show you. It pretty much will collect the date, email address, and the name. So now we're going to go and do a little test to make sure that it actually works. Let's go to preview and then we're gonna test it out. So we're just gonna go Jane Doe test at jane.com. Random email, hit join now. Thank you. Again, let's go to our spreadsheet. Would you look at that? There you go. Boom. And now your email list can grow. You can start collecting them emails. So yeah, once you actually start to grow your list, we can always add so many other mailing features. If you would actually like to connect to Mailchimp, which is already like built into Squarespace, you can do that. There's a lot of other options for email campaign services, and I'm just going to make a separate video on that. But for now, this is the bare minimum that you're going to need. And even if you decide that you want to maybe connect Mailchimp, it's really simple to do it through here. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to stop right there. We have a few more things that we need to cover before we wrap up the video. At the very end, we're going to be running through our go live checklist because we want to make sure that everything is good to go. But before that, I'm just going to scroll all the way to the top and I'm going to add any links to places that I need to link. Now, obviously, this is a one-page site. So if you're like, Marlis, what are we linking to? Here in this case, we're going to link to different sections within the page. So the gallery, for example, this button right here, we're going to link to the gallery section. For the join my list, if somebody just comes on your site and they want to just join your list, you don't want them to have to scroll all the way down. They can just click on this button and it will take them directly to the footer right here. So how are we going to do that? There's a really simple way to do it. First, we're going to do the gallery. So if you go to the gallery section, edit section, and you scroll down, you see anchor link. So this is basically what the technical term is to anchor to that section. And in order for us to anchor it, we can just add a name. So it's hash, let's just say gallery. And then we're going to go up here to our gallery button, click on it, edit link. It's going to be /hash gallery. Okay, we're going to do the same for the join my list button. We want this to go straight to the footer right here. So again, we're going to click on the section, hit edit section, and then right here, we're going to say footer. And you can go to the link and then /hash footer. We don't want it to open in a new tab. We just want it to scroll to the bottom. There we go. Nice. So let's just hit save. Beautiful. And let's go to preview. Let's go to galleries. Nice. So it just like jumped to the section. Hit join my list. Jump to the bottom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let's test out this link to make sure it actually opens my Instagram. It sure did. And then let's test this link, make sure it opens TikTok. Yep. So our links are looking good. Before we run through our go live checklist, one big thing that I see most people miss, or at least most beginners miss, is doing the mobile design. It's great to design for desktop and then make sure you make it responsive for mobile. And again, with Squarespace, they make it really easy because here on the top right, you have the mobile view. It kind of automatically shuffles things. And as you can see, like some things look fine and it's automatically good, but some things need to be moved around. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make sure everything looks good here. We're going to enlarge this image a little bit. And now what you have to know is that when you make these changes here, it doesn't change anything on the desktop view. I would like to just make sure everything here is a bit better aligned visually. And I'm going to center this. Move this up. So yeah, we're just going to clean this up and make sure it looks good. So here it looks like the gallery section worked out beautifully. I don't have to touch it at all. For Meet the Artist as well, we just got to move things around a little bit with the text. Make this a bit smaller. And even in the footer, it looks pretty good to me. Awesome. Look at that. Very nice. Now I go back to my desktop view and things still look the same. Now let's run through our checklist 2, which is our go live checklist, to make sure that we are ready to go and we're going to be able to hit publish. Well, we're not going to be able to hit publish for the purposes of this video today because I'm not purchasing a domain, obviously, but that's the only thing that you're going to have to do is make sure that you purchase your Squarespace paid subscription and also grab a domain, which also you can get like a yearly domain for, you know, anywhere between maybe $14 to $20, sometimes even cheaper. So once you have those 2 things sorted, you can actually hit publish. But let's just run through our checklist here to make sure that we have everything else. Name spelled correctly. You'll be surprised. It might sound so silly, but yes, my name is spelled correctly. Good job. Gallery images, all 6 images titled and loading. Yes. So let's hit preview and let's just go to the preview option. So it looks like our images are loading just fine. There's no snafus out here. About section, 2 to 3 sentences. Yes, looking good. Email opt-in is present with a specific headline, not just subscribe. Yep, we get early access to new collections. No placeholder text anywhere. We made sure of that. Sometimes what happens is you might end up clicking on add a block and you might add some placeholder text somewhere and it just looks all out of whack. Social links correct and working. We already tested that. Mobile preview. We already tested that. All images are loading. No broken images. We tested that as well. All buttons lead and link to somewhere. We also tested that. Okay, now here are a couple things. SEO title filled in and SEO site description filled in. We haven't done that yet. Let's go and do that now. So let's X out of our preview. In order for us to do that, we have to go to this gear right here by the home page and you see SEO. So this is where the search engine optimization, it kind of like ranks you in SEO things. Now, there's a whole world of SEO learning, but I'm not going to overwhelm you in this video. We just want some basic things to have it covered. So we're going to update that here. The title, SEO title format. Actually, we got the SEO site description, which we built earlier. We're going to drop that in here. And this is the title that shows up in the browser tab on the search engine results. So let's just go with Marlis D'Souza, abstract artist to buy. Cool. You can do that and hit save. And quite recently, Squarespace has like updated this where they have the search engine AI optimization option where you can literally go through all of this stuff and like connect your Google Search Console, do all of this. There's a lot of time that you can spend in here. You can even just click on optimize and it'll tell you all of the things that you need to do. Even with image alt text, which I didn't really go into because again, I don't want to spend too much time on all of these elements, but you can definitely go in and optimize your SEO by going into this page and deep diving in here later on. But for the purposes of this video, we wanted to make sure we have a website ready to go and out the door, and we don't want to get bogged down with all of these details just yet. Okay, so we are going back to our checklist. Page title and logo in favicon is your name or brand. That basically means that this little icon right here, this black box, that's the favicon. Now, in order for us to change that, we can just go here and hit search and type in favicon. Favicon, I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce it, but you know, you get the point. So this is where you're going to drop your logo. And so I'm going to select from library, upload my logo and hit save. You're not going to see it change just yet because I'm in the free account right now. So it's not updated, but it will update once you upgrade and once you publish. But for now, at least we know that it is updated. And page title, that is pretty much right here when we did it in our site header. So that looks good. Email form tested. You signed up and received the welcome email. We did that already. You saw that in here. Look at this. Actually, so our email form is tested. You signed up and received the welcome email. So actually, we didn't sign up for a welcome email, an automated email, right? Like it was just a thank you. So it's just email form is tested. You signed up and the Google sheet is updated. So the next one is viewed live site on your actual phone, not just editor preview. Since I'm just in the free account right now, I can't really check it on my phone per se. Once you do add your domain and upgrade, you should totally test it out on your phone as well. Finally, link in bio is updated on your socials to your new site. The only two things to get us from where we are right now to there would be to just go to settings, domains, and email. You can go to domains right here. Currently, you have this built-in domain. It's really just this Squarespace domain. It's just the free one and you can't make it public. So it is really just a private domain. And even if you send this link to somebody, I don't really think they can see it unless they actually log into your account. What you're going to have to do is you can either get a domain or use a domain I own. So if you already have a domain from another domain provider, you can click on use a domain I own and then follow these steps. Or I even have steps up here in checklist 1 where it says instructions on how to connect a third-party domain to your Squarespace site. It walks you through step by step on what you need to do. Or you can get a domain like through Squarespace. So pretty much like once you purchase your domain right here, then it's just going to automatically sync it. Once you're done with the domain part, the next thing you have to do is subscribe to a plan. Either the basic or the core will do. Right now, you just need the basic. To be honest, you don't need the core. If you don't have a shop, you really don't need core. Cool. That's pretty much it. Honestly, if you have made it this far to the end of this video, wow, I just want to let you know that I'm really proud of you. I know that it is extremely hard to kind of like switch from creating paintings and just in that kind of energy. And then when you want to actually start a business or you want to start selling your artwork, there's so much that you have to learn. And personally, I did enjoy the process, but I think that it can be really overwhelming, especially if you're not somebody that likes to clickety clack on the internet. Just know that I'm really proud of you for investing this time and learning something that is really going to help you catapult your career and really start to build a strong online presence for your art. Once your site is live, what next? This is like the burning question as well. You know, it's like, okay, you have your one-page site, you created it in one day, you followed all the steps. Wonderful. Now, what do you do next? How do you get people to come to your website? How do you get people to actually sign up to your email list? How do you know when to add a shop? And then even when you do want to add a shop, how do you know when you're ready to upgrade? And how do you know if you're actually going to need some help through that process? I created a video guide that pretty much walks you through the answers to all of these questions. And quite honestly, these are a lot of the things that I wish I knew in 2022 when I had first started with my website and I was wondering like, okay, how do I get people to actually visit my website? There are some tried and true methods and there's methods that work really well for some people and then there's some that just don't. I have a few that have worked really well for me that I'm going to be sharing in that video. You can grab it in the description below. Also, both of the checklists that I gave you right here in Notion. These are super important and honestly, I took a lot of pride in building this because I wanted it to be super helpful. That way, if you had everything, you're not missing out on any of these details. You can grab them in the description below. Also, at the end of the day, you have seen how much goes into building a site. While it is really easy and it's quite simple, if you would just love to outsource this to somebody else, I would be happy to create your website for you so you have a done for you version. I can build your whole website, connect to an email newsletter, create your e-commerce shop, which I didn't cover in the video today because that's like a whole other thing that you have to do. And if you would rather me just build your site and your whole ecosystem for you, I'd be happy to do that. There's more details in the description below on how you can apply to work with me. If this was helpful, save it for when you're ready to build and share it with another artist that you think is gonna need this. And I'll see you in the next one.